Hey everybody, today I have for you a preview of Impossible Lands for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Two quick notes before I get too deep into this. First, I should let you know that I was provided a copy of this book by Paizo, and second, I don't want this video to be confused with a full review. So let me say up front that although I've read through the book, I have not had an opportunity to see all of its contents played out on the game table, and what follows is intended to give you an idea of the book's contents and not my opinion as to its value as you might expect to see from a full and proper review. Impossible Lands is 346 pages from cover to cover and has a cover price of $59.99. This length and price point put it in the same category as other campaign setting books. For a reference, it's about 30 pages longer than the Mwangi Expanse campaign setting. The PDF version of it may also be purchased online for $29.99. Impossible Lands is a deep dive into the people, nations, and cultures of the region first introduced to 2nd edition players in the Lost Omens World Guide. The book begins with an overview of the region's history, how it came to be, and what separates the Impossible Lands from the other regions of Golarion. Simply put, this stretch of land along the eastern coast of Garoon between the Mwangi Expanse and the Obari Ocean is home to several nations unlike any other. In fact, a sidebar in the introduction does warn that adventuring in some of these locations may be disturbing for some players. For example, adventuring in Geb, where humans are raised like cattle for food. 5 pages are dedicated to describing the current state of the Impossible Lands before moving into its history. More than 10,000 years are covered, stretching back some 7,000 years before the founding of Absalom all the way up to the current day. Osirian rule, the rise of Nex and Geb, their 1,000-year war, the formation of the Mana Wastes, and the founding of Alkenstar are all covered here. The next chapter dives into the people of the Impossible Lands. 4 new feats are provided for Flesh Warp characters, 7 new feats for Geniekin, and 7 new feats for Tieflings. The book also introduces a few new ancestries, starting with Gorons. Gorons are living plant creatures evolved from a magical plant meant to feed the people of Nex during their war with Geb. You can kind of think of them as medium-sized leshies. They have 4 heritages and 18 feats. The second new ancestry is Kashrishi, which are sort of small-sized human rhinos. They're naturally empathic with horns that glow dim light whenever they cast certain magics, including innate occult spells. The book provides 5 heritages and 20 feats for Kashrishi. The third new ancestry is Nagaji. These human snake hybrids have different forms according to the 5 heritages that are provided in the book, some having the head of a cobra, while others are fully human from the waist up with serpentine bodies from the waist down. 18 feats are provided for the Nagaji. The fourth new playable ancestry is Venara. These monkey-like tricksters are medium-sized creatures with prehensile tails. The book provides 4 heritages and 21 feats for them. And the last new ancestry is Vishkanya. This is another serpent-like ancestry. They appear mostly human save for their vertical pupils and forked tongues. The book provides 5 heritages and 17 feats for Vishkanyas. Following this, the next 6 chapters of the book each cover a different geographic region in the Impossible Lands, starting with the Grand Duchy of Alkenstar. Nestled between the warring mages Geb and Nex, Alkenstar is a haven of not magical but technological advancement, mostly due to inhabiting the Mana Wastes where magic is unpredictable at best. This is a home to gunslingers, inventors, and clockwork servants. The book covers major locations like the Gunworks and Ustrati Waters, but greater detail is provided for Alkenstar City. In all, 18 pages cover life in the city, its people, culture, and government. Next, the Dwarven Sky Citadel of Dongan Hold receives similar detail before transitioning into a section about adventuring in Alkenstar. New equipment like plated dusters and pocket watches, as well as a new animal companion, the Watcher Wraith. This section also provides a new Way for gunslinger characters. Way of the Trigger brand specializes in combining ranged and melee attacks into one weapon, sort of like the gunblades that are featured in Final Fantasy games. Way of the Trigger brand also comes with a new reload option, new initial, advanced, and greater deeds, and 2 new gunslinger feats. Also, a new archetype is provided here, the Shield Marshal. Shield Marshals are Alkenstar's chief law enforcement agency. Following Alkenstar, the book dives into the island nation of Bopon. This land is touched by Fey magic from the First World. In fact, roughly half of its inhabitants are Fey-touched humans, while the other half are beastkin. This section ends with new dancing feats for bards, rogues, and swashbucklers, a new ancestry feat that's actually available to all ancestries that is called Fey Influence, and this itself grants access to 5 more Fey Influence feats like Fey Ascension and Cannibalize Magic. And the section on Bopon comes to a close with 6 more feats for the island's elite scouts known as the Green Watch. The next section discusses the undead dictatorship of Geb. 50 full pages are dedicated to these deadlands, specifically the capital city of Mekatar and its largest city, Yeld. This section closes with 6 new curses, 5 new spell catalysts, and a section of Geb-themed magic items. The next location covered in the book is the island nation of Jalmaray. Jalmaray is a land of elemental abundance. It is home to Jinnikin like Suli, Sylphs, and Undine, as well as several prominent monasteries where spiritual and physical perfection is sought. 45 pages cover the people, culture, and government of this region, and it ends with a section for adventuring, including a new familiar, the Siriu, which are sort of these tiny-sized blue elephants. Also included are 5 new feats and a dozen new focus spells for the Student of Perfection archetype that was first published in the Lost Omens World Guide. And it also provides a wholly new archetype, the Jalmari Heavenseeker, which has even more feats and focus spells for martial artists. Next, the book moves into discussing the Mana Wastes, which is a wide scar of land between Geb and Nex that was so brutally decimated by magic during the 1,000-Year War that magic no longer functions properly within its borders. Almost 20 pages are dedicated here, including several new environmental hazards and an explanation of how the wild magic rules from the Secrets of Magic book affect spellcasting here in the Mana Wastes. And the last nation covered by the book is, of course, Nex. In fact, this is the largest section of the book, with 65 pages dedicated to the wondrous sights of the Wizard Kingdom and its capital city, Quantium. No one is considered an oddity here. Extraplanar beings, flesh forgers, intelligent oozes all inhabit this nation. This section also includes stats for 3 kinds of cubes of Nex, 5 new magical tattoos, 3 new ooze-based magic items like the Goo Grenade, and 2 new summoning spells, Summon Ancient Fledgeforged and Summon Healing Servitor. Following the chapters on the nations of the Impossible Lands, the book discusses the different religions of the region. I don't want to completely butcher these pronunciations, but all of the new gods are displayed on the screen. Each of these receives the standard write-up for deities, including their domains, edicts, anathemas, favored weapons, and avatar forms. The book closes out with a 17-page bestiary that covers many new monsters and a handy table to reference previously published creatures that can be found in each part of the Impossible Lands. This section also includes rules for creating mana waste mutant versions of other creatures. So that should give you a pretty good idea of what you can expect when this book officially releases on November 16th. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the book, and as always, thank you for watching, take care, and happy gaming.